Good morning, everyone. My name is Aiko. I'm part of the team here at Roadmap Consulting. Thank you for joining us for today's 2026 GSA MAS Refresh 31, our Contract Administration and Compliance Support webinar. And to start, throughout the session, we encourage you to please drop your questions in the chat, and we'll do our best to address them thoroughly during the Q&A portion. So today's webinar will also be recorded and made available on our YouTube channel and social media platforms. And as always, after the webinar, you're welcome to schedule a free consultation with our speaker. And we will start in a minute, and we're just letting everybody in. And now to introduce today's presenter. Since 2009, our owner and managing director of Roadmap, Michael Perch, has helped over 300 firms secure GSA, MES, and other government-wide acquisition contracts through our signature GSA 360 service. So his efforts have contributed to over $1 billion in task order awards for our clients. And now today, he will be speaking about our contract administration and compliance support. Without further ado, it's my pleasure to welcome our speaker today, Michael Perch. Mike?
Yes, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining this webinar that is addressing a very hot topic that has come up within the GSA multiple award schedule environment. We have been putting on these webinars probably for about 5 years now, and the webinars we put on consist of the contract administration compliance service that we offer, the marketing capture management service that we offer, and the comprehensive proposal support service that we offer. Within the CAC, or Contract Administration and Compliance Service webinar, this is probably the most important one that we're going to be putting on because of the recent developments within GSA, specifically Refresh 31, that has impacted greatly all GSA schedule holders, as well as those firms looking to get onto GSA. So the timing of this webinar, we've been requested to put this on by a number of our firms that we work with, as well as those that have an interest in working with us. And as opposed to doing individual presentations, we said, why don't we just put one on that addresses this particular topic since it is such a topic of interest. So for the next 45 minutes, I hope to give you an idea as to the recent developments that have happened, the deadlines associated with those developments, and the steps you should take now, because it is a time-sensitive approach that you're going to have to take if you are on GSA, on the GSA Mass, in terms of reacting to Refresh 31, which came out back in April. Okay, so first of all, just to kind of give you an idea, we work specifically within GSA, the multiple award system, and we've been doing this for 17 years now. Have not seen the kind of, I guess, really unprecedented cancellation of contracts as we've seen in the past year in 2025. Over 1,600 contracts canceled. To give you an idea, it's about 14,000 GSA schedule holders. I don't know what that percentage is, but it's a pretty good percentage. Now that's before Refresh 31. And most of those cancellations have come as a result of not meeting the GSA required minimum sales volume of either $100,000 in your first 5 years of the contract or 125 for subsequent years. But I would anticipate that that number is going to grow based upon the requirements that have been outlined in Refresh 31, which is why we're going to be talking today about the specifics of that. To give you an idea too, as to the mass mods associated with Refresh 31, the mass mod A914 has a deadline of June 1st as far as the acceptance of that mass mod. And then beyond that, mass mod A909, which is a TDR mod, is July 1st. So those are the deadlines you definitely want to pay attention to. not only in terms of accepting the mods, but also now having to adopt your company's infrastructure to be responsive to the terms and conditions that have been outlined in that mod, which will come up at various points as you go forward, especially if you're looking at the FCP migration. The FCP migration, as I'll get into in just a little bit, very complicated process. A lot of companies come running to us having not been able to get through it because it is so complicated. And what it does is it freezes your contract. You can't really do any business until that mod has been done. It does not allow you to use the old SIP upload system. You must comply with that term and condition that is outlined in the A14, or excuse me, the A914 mass mod. So a lot of things to talk about in terms of the timing as well as the complexity of Refresh 31. What's at stake is over $51 billion in GSA awards that have been made last year. You don't want to have a suspension or an expulsion from the GSA program because, of course, those dollars are important. That's why you got on schedule to begin with, right? So we're going to talk a lot about Refresh 31 going forward, just kind of give you an idea as to the landscape. Here's what we're going to cover today, and you'll know by, hopefully you'll know by 11 o'clock today, right? First of all, you're going to know whether or not your contract is at risk of suspension. And by the way, we're going to be putting out some poll questions as we go forward. If you can respond to those questions, that'd be great. Okay. Um, so you'll know that based upon the compliance landscape, this new landscape now that is in place as of the beginning of April. We'll kind of give you some checklist items to look at there. We'll look at also what the monthly TDR reporting actually means for your team. It used to be everyone was on a quarterly reporting basis, easy to manage either internally or externally. It's a different ball game now with TDR reporting that is on a monthly basis and it's on a per SIN basis as far as reporting to GSA. It's a little bit more of a burden placed on GSA contractors. Number three, you'll also need or you should be able to determine at the end of this session whether or not you need outside help with your FCP migration. For many clients, the majority of our clients, the answer is yes, because that is a very complex process, and we get involved with a lot of companies that have tried to do it themselves and not been able to get through it. You'll also be able to look at whether your sales pipeline is going to meet the requirement of the either the $100,000 for the first 5 years or the 125 for the subsequent 5 year option periods. We have a service that does accommodate helping you in that regard. As I said in the beginning, over the 1,600 companies that have been suspended, the majority of those companies were suspended based upon the lack of GSA sales. We have a program we've come up with that has been wildly successful among the clients we work with to make sure that that requirement is being met. Also, increased security measures that have been put out by GSA, incorporated into the GSA program involving the handling of sensitive information. All that has a lot to do with the CMMC requirement that has also been now in place for defense contractors, but for controlled unclassified information, new requirements on the part of GSA as far as how you handle that. And we can assist with making sure that you're not going to run into any trouble during your audit if you have not been complying with that particular requirement. And then finally, we'll do an assessment as to what our service would cost you versus what non-compliance would cost, or the burden of having your own folks do the work. We'll kind of give you an idea as to the cost benefit analysis there at the end. So hopefully all this will be um, summarized in your minds by the end of this presentation. A little bit about us, just to know you're in the right room. This is what we do. We've been in business 17 years now, helped over 300 companies to get onto the schedule. We have 7 experienced contract managers, including 2 former GSA contracting officers. So we have 2 folks that are highly experienced, not only in terms of working on this side of the fence, but also having worked for GSA for a number of years, veterans in the field, and we lend that assistance to our companies to make sure that not only are they staying in compliance, but they're also taking advantage as to the sales opportunities within the GSA program. We also have our own GSA schedule. So we not only manage others, but we have our own to manage. So we're intimately involved or intimately knowledgeable about the intricacies of the requirements that come out because we're managing our own schedules. We provide acquisition support services and management consulting services to the federal government. So again, that's a little bit about us. As I said earlier, we have three services: GSA 360, CAC 360, and MCM 360, all designed to provide full life cycle support to GSA contractors looking to get on schedule and maintain their schedules and grow their business by using the schedule. So a little bit about the GSA MAS program as a refresher, possible 20 years, the first 5 years as a base period, and then three 5-year options after that. Over 14,000 companies on schedule. Over 86% of those companies are small businesses, which is the majority of our clients. We do have some large companies, but the majority of our clients are small businesses. And those companies do capture over 35% of all the spending of that $51 billion that takes place within the GSA mass system. So certainly for small businesses, a good contract vehicle to have. Typical approval time between 3 and 6 months to get on schedule. A little faster if you get assistance from folks like us because we know what we're doing. But yeah, so as I mentioned, the threshold $100,000 in the first 5 years, very important. Got to get that done in order to continue on. All right, so when we talk about the reporting requirements or contract administration and compliance requirements for your GSA schedule, it has now been expanded as a result of Refresh 31. 7 distinct obligations in these 4 categories, as outlined, that you're going to have to abide by every single month. That's a burden. And a lot of our clients have admitted to us they don't want to handle that burden. They would prefer to offload that to us and have us update them as to the compliance on a monthly and quarterly basis. We've determined as a result of talking to clients that most clients are spending anywhere between 12 and 20 hours a month. And that's conservative, I would say, in terms of managing all of these items. And of course, if you make a mistake, then that number multiplies as a factor of 2 in some cases to correct those mistakes. So the way our company is positioned, the service, the value proposition we offer to our clients is that because we work with GSA on a day-to-day basis, because we are intimately familiar with the requirements that GSA has, we can be a valued partner with you if you're looking at managing your schedule and growing your business utilizing your schedule. So this is kind of the outline of what we do with all of our clients in terms of managing their month-to-month schedule compliance or terms and conditions compliance to their schedule. The other thing I did not mention is obviously if you're looking to grow your schedule in terms of the number of sends or service offerings or product offerings that you have, we can help with that. We have a program under our CAC coverage that allows for unlimited modifications on a yearly basis. If you're a yearly customer with us, we can handle all of your modifications, adding sends, adding service offerings, adding products. On an annual basis. We do that on an unlimited basis as far as all the requirements you may have. So we make it easy to say yes to us in terms of partnering with you to make sure you manage your schedule properly and grow your schedule, and by virtue of that, grow your business. The FCP migration. All right, again, mandatory in 2026. By the end of 2026, every single company will have migrated or be in the process of migrating over to FCP from the former program, which was the SIP program. Okay. Again, the FCP migration process is a 2 or 3-step process. It involves updating the seller profile when you first start that process. That's part of what you do, which is very much an administrative steps that you take. But then it gets real complicated when you get into the baseline modification of all of the product catalog service offerings, all the service catalog service offerings, as well as the terms and conditions. And where that really comes into play, what we've seen from a lot of our clients is that if you had any mistakes in your price proposal template that dates back to the very beginning of your contract award, if any mistakes were present in that price proposal template, it'll show up when we start to migrate, and it has to go back and be corrected before the migration is complete. So again, process gets very complicated. You're off by a um, couple of dollars in any one of your product offerings or your service offerings. It throws the whole thing out of kilter, and you have to go back and start all over again. Again, we can help with that through our approach that we take, which I'm about to talk about, in terms of making certain that step by step we get you through the process. But again, the FCP migration does migrate from the SIP platform over to FCP. It does allow for catalog visibility. The whole idea behind this cloud-based system that GSA is adopting is to make it such that is cloud-based and it's automated, as opposed to having GSA contracting officers have to get involved in every single step of modifying a price list. So it's an automated process that they're moving toward, which does make sense, but getting there is the real problem that most companies run into. After it's all done, your catalog is updated on that third slide to the right, and then labor category updates, pricing associated with labor categories, all product offerings, all that is automated to some degree on the part of GSA. That's where they're looking to get to from what the current system is under SIP. So again, to discuss what changed as a result of Refresh 31, TDR is now mandatory. You will get an actual notice from your contracting officer as far as sometime this year, you'll get that notice as far as shifting from the monthly report, or excuse me, the quarterly reporting that was in place for all GSA contractors, with the exception of those that were on TDR, to now having all contractors be on the TDR program. A new AI clause that talks a little bit about how AI is implemented within the GSA system. The office supply mandatory mass modification A09, as well as all the others that you see there. The Springboard program has now been relegated only to IT companies that have certain sins, which is where it was a few years back, is now reverted back to that for the last 5 or so years. Any company that was in a startup phase could get onto schedule now. IT companies with specific special item numbers can get onto the schedule as a startup. So that door is now closed for startups, unfortunately, and now only those companies that have those specific sins can get into the program. So these are the major changes that happen as a result of Refresh 31. Um, the effect of all that, okay, is that the much maligned price reduction clause is now gone. Some people are applauding when we talk about that, because that was a real big item for a lot of companies to have to comply with um, under the old program before Refresh 31. That is now gone. It's been replaced entirely by mandatory TDR reporting. No more CSP disclosures, none of that. All that's gone. But GSA is monitoring your commercial sales activity as a result of the monthly transactional data reporting that is taking place. So it's a shifting to a different system. Simpler compliance, far higher reporting volume month to month. Again, separating GSA sales from non-GSA sales and reporting those GSA sales under TDR, for most companies, a pretty good size burden. Again, the new CUI cybersecurity mandate. All this is much in line with NIST requirements, all related to Again, what is happening under a similar program, similar requirement under CMMC within the defense community is now affecting all GSA schedule holders. So, number of showstoppers, 9 of them in total, that have to be implemented in order to meet that requirement. So, another very important condition that GSA is now imposing upon GSA schedule holders. And of course, I already talked about the Mass Mod 914 that has to occur within the next 60 days, deadline of June 1st, under Refresh 31. The acceptance, of course, has to be accepted, but then you have to also implement those changes within your company, follow the guidelines that both A914 and A909 do dictate. So, very important internal thing that has to happen in order for you to be in strict compliance with your terms and conditions of your contract. Our process. Here's how we help companies that are looking for the services that we provide under our contract administration and compliance service. Okay. So the first thing is we do a complete contract review from the actual date of your contract award all the way up until now. And we look at any sort of uh, issues that may have occurred in terms of as I mentioned before, we see a lot of the price proposal templates not having been done properly. Sometimes the basis of award is not being properly applied to all service offerings. So we make all those corrections. We go all the way back to the beginning and we do a complete audit, make all those corrections. Through a gap analysis, we'll indicate to you where we see issues and do the risk assessment, and of course address that risk assessment with specific steps to get you back in line with your contract. We'll set all that set up all your files on our OneHub system, which is a cloud-based high security system, very easy to access and control, and notifications are issued to both us and you as activity occurs on that site. So you have access, you have visibility to everything we're doing, but we're now taking that burden off of your plate. And then from that point, once we get everything where it should be, as far as where you are in strict compliance with your terms and conditions, then we begin to run the compliance on a monthly basis. So the TDRs, the mass mods, the SAM updates, the EP economic price adjustments, mod requests, all that is done by us. So number 3 is where we've corrected we've done a course correction, and now we're moving forward and making certain that you're happy with the results of our service. We'll give you a quarterly review, status report, which is a comprehensive report that GSA auditors love because it does on a quarterly basis kind of bring everything up to date as far as mass mods, contract mods, TDR reporting, all that is contained in that report and supported by all the files on the OneHub setup. So easily traceable, an audit trail, easy for GSA auditors to go through and see that everything is working the way it should be. So you're audit ready at that point. Once we start issuing that quarterly report, auditor can come in at any time. You're not having to scramble. We're up to date on everything we should be up to date on. And then, of course, if you're looking to expand your contract or renew your 5-year option, we assist in that regard as well. Again, all for a fixed price each year that we'll outline to you during our discovery call. So, what you get every quarter, again, just to reiterate, you get the TDR filings for the quarter, all the details involved in that. Of course, your industrial funding fee, if it's issued, we'll show you the report of that. All mass mods accepted. Your SAM status, we'll give you an update, make sure that you never lapse in terms of your active listing on SAM. Economic price adjustment, always done on the anniversary date of your contract award, making certain that you get that percentage added to your service offerings so that going forward you have that percentage added. Mod request, we'll do every single mod that you send to us, again, for the fixed price. So any expansion of your schedule that you'd like to do, we take care of that. We take care of your CUI evidence, making sure that that's in place, and of course doing the FCP migration. And what that does at the very end is that it leaves you with no open audit items. We have 100% on-time TDR filing record. We have not had any penalty exposure of our current clients. We haven't done anything that would cost them any money, and we live by that. And again, typical internal time saved this quarter. We've done a calculation on a few of our clients as to what it may have saved them in terms of hours, and that was that was a number we came up with, 27.4 hours. Okay, so we deliver this service to you. We get it, we write the ship within 90 days, and we give you a quarterly update that summarizes all the activity that happened for that preceding quarter. And we house all that information on a one hub system that you have access to. It basically is a worry-free service that we offer to our clients. The One Hub service, the One Hub command center is again where you're going to see all this activity. So you'll see the TDR filings, the mass mods, all that I just mentioned to you. As I mentioned, the activity is all recorded, so you can basically see all that has happened within the site, and it's audit ready as soon as we get to the point where everything is up to date. So here's a before and after comparison as far as the compliance scorecard. Um, and this is all based upon, again, a sampling of some of the companies we've helped. TDR filings on time, usually a couple of months are missed. 8 out of 12 with us is going to be 100%. As far as the hours spent on compliance, that goes away. Now it's basically you're just reviewing the work that we performed as opposed to having to do the work yourselves, um, and so on and so forth. I won't go through every one of them, but this is a summary of where things end up 90 days after hiring us. And again, it becomes a worry-free, hassle-free type of engagement that offloads that burden all over to us. And you do have visibility and complete compliance with all of the requirements that GSA does mandate. Client outcomes that matter, again, not to bore you with the stats, but we've done over 300 of these contracts. We've had no companies suspended in our 17-year history as a result of using our service, and we have a 100% renewal rate among active CAC clients. So we not only help you in terms of meeting the terms and conditions and modifications that occur on your contract, but we also help you with marketing and capture management to meet that GSA sales requirement. So, and then below are just some examples of companies we've helped in the past. All of this can be discussed with you in detail. What we would really encourage you to do, because every company is obviously different, is to schedule a follow-up call with us, and allow us to find out a little bit about your particular situation, find out how we can help, and give you a proposal that meets all of your needs, corrects any situations you may currently have, and takes care of you going forward. We will offer a one-time, I guess, promotion to the first attendees who book this week. We'll do the mass mod A19, excuse me, A914 review to make sure that you're not going to go beyond that deadline. We'll also lock in our annual rate for 2026 for the rest of the year and into next year. So you have a fixed price option as far as working with us. And we'll also just get you on board with very quickly. I mean, we move very quickly in terms of getting clients working with us. We'll send you a request for information letter, which will detail all the things we need to get from you in order to correctly assess where you are with your contract and prescribe to you a solution to get everything where it should be. We also help companies to team with other companies. We've obviously run into a lot of companies in the last 17 years, so we help with a lot of teaming relationships, and that has proved to be a very successful thing that we've done with our clients. And of course, the audit support is a big thing that comes up from time to time. Again, once we start with you, we have all of our quarterly reports filed, all the information included into the OneHub filing system. So the audit becomes a breeze in terms of getting through that process. So, two paths forward. If you are a decision maker, book the 15-minute discovery call with us. We'll give you the actual link that you can do that with. And then once we assess where you are, we'll send you an agreement for services, which outlines the solution to all your problems. We'll do the kickoff meeting within 5 days to get started, and you'll have that first quarterly report within that quarter in of where you are. If you're an internal champion, you're not the decision maker, we can send you the actual CAC briefing, one pager. We'll send you that. You can forward it to your CEO, and then loop us in for an internal Zoom call, and we will answer any questions that you or the decision maker may have to get started. So that concludes our CAC webinar for today. We are going to have on June 18th the Marketing and Capture Management webinar. Again, that's webinars designed to assist you not only in fulfilling the minimum sales requirement for your GSA schedule, but going well beyond that in terms of marketing and capturing opportunities within the federal marketplace. Okay. And then on the 23rd, we'll have another webinar that addresses the comprehensive proposal support service that we offer for those companies that are looking to get onto the schedule. So that does it. I think we came in a little bit early, 10:31, only 30 minutes. So this is the link that you can go to schedule a 15-minute consultation with us. Please do so. Be happy to talk to you. And at this point, I think we'll now entertain questions.
Thank you so much, Mike. Everyone feel free to drop your questions in the Q&A chat. We're keeping an eye on them as it come in. We've also added the links, that's what Mike said, for your free consultation with Mike. And you may reserve your spot definitely using the link in the Zoom chat. Additionally, we've also shared the links to our website and our official social media platforms. Please check and follow us there to stay informed about the upcoming events, the webinars in June and July, and of course, additional helpful updates. All right. And I only have one question, Mike. It's a generic one from our registrants list. The question is, what are your tips for small business GSA MAS compliance?
Tips for GSA MAS compliance.
Yes,
Uh,
for small businesses. Yes.
Well, a lot has to do with just essentially, again, the burden that GSA is placing on small businesses to maintain their contract. And again, the whole purpose of this webinar was to outline the increased level of burdens that is now being placed as a result of Refresh 31. So if you're looking to do it yourself, definitely, read up on all the information that we provide, all the information that GSA provides on this subject. And if you get to a point where we can be of assistance, we'd be more than happy to help.
Thank you, Mike. There's a question from Brandon that came in. What differentiates our team and services than other GSA schedule service providers? So, for example, is one of our such as Fed schedules and
Oh,
all of that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's some fine companies out there that we compete against on a day-to-day basis. I would say our differentiator is number one, my experience. I've been in government contracting now for over 30 years. I've owned a technology company, started it and sold it after 18 years of running it. Um, I'm also very much in tune with the federal contracting community. So aside from GSA, we can offer advice and direction on a number of different topics that are pertaining to federal government contracting. All that comes along with you becoming a client of ours. We also, as I mentioned, have very experienced contract management staff that are very well versed in all the things that have to do with the GSA MAS program. Two of those individuals are former GSA contracting officers themselves. So, we're technically competent in that regard. I would also say, and lastly, our pricing is very small business friendly. Some of the larger companies are, more designed to work with large companies that have, very massive requirements, and their pricing reflects that. Our companies are largely small businesses, so we're more small business friendly, more amenable to budget consciousness in terms of working with small businesses. So that's kind of where we've seen a lot of our clients come from after maybe getting proposals from some of the larger companies and comparing them with ours. We give a lot of personalized attention, and we give you a good value for what you get in terms of what you spend with us.
Thank you, Mike. And that's it. No incoming questions. We'll give it a few more seconds. Okay, so we have another question, Mike. What is our general free fee structure? Is it labor hour and or FFP?
Um, we do both. We can do a time and materials type of agreement with you if you just want us, when you need us kind of thing. And then we can do a firm fixed annual price offering to you. And and then we also break that out into two options. If you want to just a firm fixed price paid at the beginning of the coverage period, that's one price. Or if you just want to do a monthly sort of engagement, then we can arrange that as well. Um, if you do a annual firm fixed price fee with us, then you get unlimited modifications during that 12-month period. So a lot of companies opt for that because they want to have the option to add to their schedule, labor categories, sins, or whatever it might be, and they don't want any sort of limitation on that. So that's a new feature that we offer for our annual contract administration compliance clients.
Thank you,
And
Mike.
and by the way, go ahead and set up a meeting
Mhm.
with us so we can talk specifically about the numbers and we can give you a quote. I think that would be very much amenable to what you're looking to do.
Yes, exactly. So I placed in the chat for the link to give us reserve your spot for a free consultation, and we can do an assessment of your company and what you need, and then we can quote a price for you based on your budget range as well. So another question from Aaron, what internal systems should startup small businesses establish before obtaining a schedule?
Oh, definitely. In terms of your accounting, as far as what, your setup of your chart of accounts, you definitely have to segregate GSA sales versus non-GSA sales. Fairly simple thing to do. Tracking those sales is important. That's what we do, but we have to access your accounting data in order to do that. So setting that internally up is a good first step. A pricing mechanism, right? How do you determine your prices is important. Are you doing a cost buildup based upon your indirect rate structure? All those kinds of things matter. Because when you get around to actually negotiating your let's say your labor rates with GSA, the way in which you price your competitive, or excuse me, your commercial market clients is going to be examined. So pricing, accounting, and then also just a orderly system, standard operating procedures as far as how you handle certain things that small businesses sometimes don't think of. Very, very important when you're on schedule because we do have to get a lot of information from you in order to report to GSA and stay in strict compliance with your terms and conditions. So standard operating procedures covering all areas, but specifically accounting and price justification as to how you arrive at your commercial prices, I say would be the two most important things to consider.
Thank you so much, Mike. And I'll be pausing for last minute questions or final questions before we wrap it up. Again, just to recap, I've shared the links to our website and our social media platforms. Check and follow us there to stay in the loop on upcoming events, webinars, and helpful updates. Also, if you'd like a deeper dive and personalized questions, the best way to get personalized support is reserve your spot for a free consultation with Mike in the Calendly link that I've shared in the webinar chat. All right. It seems there's no more questions, Mike. All right, well, that wraps things up for today. We truly appreciate your time and engagement. Thank you again for joining us, and we'll see you in the next webinar in June in our GSA 360 series. Take care, everyone, and have a great rest of your day.